Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Brent Harvey. We are in the presence of greatness tonight. Boomer, looking at that package, what is the overriding emotion that goes through you when you relive that week? It was so huge.
That's probably the first time I've watched it, Heath, properly. You see a little bit on Foxtel and stuff during the week, but I guess leading into the game, it was such a big build-up, and I was so excited to run out with the kids and do all those little things. And like I said in that video, most of all, our season was sort of on the line to put my arms around my teammates and sing that song and get the 4 points and get out of there. But looking back at it now, it was a massive week, and it probably didn't kick in until Tuesday. I think you organised the other guys in the 400 club to come down, and sitting there with KB, Fletch, and also Tucky. That's when it started kicking in. I thought, I'm in a pretty elite group in terms of games played and things like that. I still don't think about it a great deal, and I think I will when I finish my career. So yeah, that will mean a whole lot more when I've got the grandkids on the knee and I'm telling them that I've played 400 games or whatever it ends up being, and that's when it will sink in. But right now, I've still got one focus, and I think everybody in the room knows what that is, and that's to win a premiership.
And absolutely. You have a lot of people telling you a lot of things throughout that week, but there was probably one guy who said something to you, Dustin Fletcher, that would have stood out more than probably anything else in how to handle the week.
Yeah, he did. He on that meeting where we did the press conference, he just said to embrace it and enjoy it. And something that Brad said on big games as well, you can't hide from these things because we've got so many media outlets covering everything. So I did try to embrace it. Like I said, I was super excited to go up there with the kids and the family and all the support that I've got with friends and family, and enjoy the occasion. But when Fletch said just enjoy it, take it all in and just go with it, it's probably made me relax a little bit more.
And what about the boys, the players? How did they sort of help with sort of calming your nerves? And I kind of want to know, because of all the other milestones that you've achieved over your career, were you more nervous for this one than any other game, or was it just another game and did you treat it as such?
I think the most thing I'm nervous about leading into a milestone, I think it's happened on my 300th, my 312th, and now the 400th, is all the friends and family booking all the flights and accommodation. And if I get reported, like most of them thought I was probably going to, would have the shits with me. So that's probably the most nervous I felt. The boys have been fantastic. I don't think Righty and I think it might have been Ats were playing their 100th game on that night. I don't think they were all too happy with me taking all the spotlight. But I did text them during the day and said it was a privilege to share the night with them too as well on their milestone. So the boys were great. We treated it as a normal week, and they give me a bit of stick during the week.
And was there one other person that actually got the date wrong and booked interstate trip to the Gold Coast, I think?
That's right. I think we played Gold Coast 3 rounds before Brisbane, and one of my ex-teammates, and a lot of people in the room would know Craig Scholl, actually booked the Gold Coast trip thinking that was my 400th. So it was good to see him on my 397th anyway.
Absolutely. Well, Boomer, what I want to do now is get 3 men who are extremely close to you and have played a massive part in your life and your career. I want to get Drew Petrie, I want to get your brother Shane Harvey up here, and I want to get Darren Crocker up here as well, just to have a chat about the week and your career. So put your hands together for this trio. So we might start with you, Shane, and we'll go back to the start. I know you and Boomer used to spend a lot of time in the backyard kicking the football to each other, and used to dream about playing footy together, but also just realising a dream of playing AFL football in general. Can you believe your brother's been able to achieve what he's been able to achieve at this point?
Oh, I knew he was definitely going to play AFL and excel, but to the extent of 400 odd games is obviously a bit farther than what I thought he would go, but he's done well.
So are you able to say the traits or the attributes that you saw even kicking the ball in the backyard with him, you used to have goal kicking competitions up the driveway, etc., that has allowed him to get to that point? What is it that stands out?
Well, I think his competitiveness is number one. I think I used to beat him from the age of 3 or 4, and he wouldn't go in until he won. So
you agree with that, Boom?
He was actually quite skillful for a little fella. He reckons I was competitive, but he was just as competitive. And we had a dad growing up too that, you know, would take the football inside after it was too dark and kick the ball around and break all the picture frames and things like that. And Mum wouldn't be too happy with us. And as soon as she confiscated the football, Dad's footy socks would come out and would just start kicking through the door as well. So we're taking hangers, we used to call it, on the Paul couch. Broke numerous things, and it was good growing up with Dad and Shane, who we all obviously loved playing football and doing all that sort of stuff.
So Shane, is he a bad loser or a sore loser?
Is that the same thing or not?
I think it's different.
When I'd beat him, it'd be a bad loser, and then it'd be a sore loser. I think he's both.
And you would also say that if you had a competition and you won, he would then want to restart the competition again until he won?
Yeah, well, sometimes we didn't go to bed till 2 a.m. until he finally got me, but yeah.
I'm happy though. I've said in public that I'm a sore loser, and I'm not ashamed of that. Some people say it's a bad trait. I think it's a great trait. I'm trying to teach my kids that now. But look, that's the reason why I've played for so long. I love competing, and I'm a bad loser, and I always want to win, whether that's, you know, I play a team sport, so I want to win, you know, the ultimate with team success, but I'll do anything to win. You know, we all seen that Pritis 50-metre penalty that I got a lot of slack about on social media and all that stuff, but if I had the opportunity to do it again, would I? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It was clever, very clever. Drew, goal-kicking competitions every week with this bloke, and it never changes.
No, it doesn't. No, it hasn't changed since you grew up with him, Shane, and the forwards in the room know that we do a goal-kicking competition after a main training session midweek and after a final training session the day before the game, and he always wins. If I had to have someone kick for my life, he'd kick every single day of the week because he just doesn't miss, and he just takes so much pride in every aspect of his training. It's not as if he's into his 21st year next year, and therefore he can just do a bit less goal kicking and a bit less training. He'll go the other way, and he'll continually want to do more and more of it. So that's what's made him play for so long. Isn't the fact that he thinks now that he's played for long enough that he can start taking shortcuts. He's continually one of the last blokes to leave the track.
Croc, you were there when Boomer walked through the doors after the 1995 draft and into the 1996 season. What do you remember about him? And I suppose, looking at all the players on the list at that time, would you have thought that this bloke would have been able to extend his career for as long as he has?
Oh, look, there's, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and, it's great to see him get to 400 games, but when he walked in and looked like a 12-year-old, no, I didn't think he'd get to 400. I remember at the end of his first season, played one game that year, and it was a really successful year for the club. Both the seniors and the reserves won the premierships in '96, and every player went on the footy trip at the end of that year.
I knew this was coming. Hey, I got some footy trip stories about two.
And I know well, I know his old man's in the room, and I don't know whether Neil remembers this, but we assembled at the Jackaroo Bar out at the International Airport there, and Neil was having a couple of pots with the older players right about 10 o'clock in the morning, and Boomer sort of standing there looking like a 12-year-old on his first trip ever overseas. I thought, geez, I'll just go and comfort his old man and let him know that Boom will be okay going on his first trip. So I went over to Neil and put my arm around him and said, look, Mr. Harvey, look, I'll look after Boom for you. He'll be right. And his old man just came back with, yeah, I appreciate that, Croc, but you know what? Don't look after him too much because he's going to have to fend for himself at some stage. And he's been doing that for the rest of his career. So, I think, he's obviously come from a school of hard knocks, and he's certainly learned how to defend for himself.
Well, Drew and Shane, you both have lived with Boomer, obviously. Drew, you rented with Boomer. Were there any insights in terms of, the characteristics? He's a bit of a neat freak.
He is. I don't know where to start here, Shane. You might be able to help me out with his OCD and his fiancée as well. Has he mentioned he's getting married in a couple of weeks, Boomer? A round of applause for Boomer. Be a married man in a few weeks. Just to jump a few steps ahead.
Is there a Bucks party tomorrow too,
yes,
Drew?
Bucks Day tomorrow. 2 o'clock at the Waterloo in Ascot Vale, if anyone's around.
and in recent times he's been running the message around the footy club that his fiancée Shane, they've been together 20 years, they've got 3 kids, but we said it's the longest apprenticeship anyone's ever had to do.
And had to make sure she was the right one, Drew.
Yeah, and that's what he's come back with every single time. So, but living with him early on, I think I'd been in the club 15 or 16 months, and to live with Brent, who'd only been there 5 years, but had already won an EJ Whitten medal, a premiership. It's helped me get to last as long as I have in the game as well. But some of his habits at home, the neat freak, I was a bit similar, so we got on really well. And I don't think he really lets anyone live with him, or let alone in his front door, that's not that way inclined as well. So he's at the moment, I think in his closet at home, he's got all the white shirts together, all the blue shirts together, and everything's folded up really neatly. And I had to put up with a bit of that when I first moved in, and just with the neatness around the house. But it taught me good habits, which have transferred into my footy as well.
Yeah, but how long? 15 years, I reckon you've been out of sort of home a little bit longer. I'm still yet to wear my shoes inside his lounge room, so.
Well, wasn't it the case when you shared a room, I've spoken to your beautiful mum about this, that he wouldn't actually let you touch anything in the room, or his toys and all that sort of stuff? So you shared a room, but you weren't allowed to touch anything.
It wasn't quite to the stage where I had to start wearing gloves, but very, very close.
I thought it was meant to be a celebration, not a stitch-up.
Oh, it's a celebration.
Okay.
Yeah, absolute celebration.
As well as the vacuuming, there was only because Brent, I looked after sort of the inside tidy up, and Brent looked after the outside. So on the days when he went outside and mowed his lawns and pruned his roses, about 30 minutes into him being outside, he'd come back in, I'd hear the door, and he'd be trotting down the hallway and yell at Drewy, I need a hand. And it would be to trim the high parts on all the hedges. So that was the only outside gardening I was allowed to do.
Croc, we might finish up with you, but what's he been like to coach? You've obviously been a teammate of his, but what's he been like to coach as well? He must make your job fairly easy.
Oh yeah, look, I think the biggest thing that's allowed Burma to play for as long as he has is just the balance. You know, like the guys talk about his OCD, but I think the fact that he's still at his age, still enjoying what he does every day that he goes to work, which is the footy. You know, for a lot of us back when I was playing, yeah, it was great fun, but he was starting to take it to a very professional, phase, right? And but in saying that, he was also able to get a really great balance. So with that professionalism, as well as also still enjoying it, and that's why he's been able to play for 400 games.
Well, Croc, before we let you go, this special presentation that I'd like you to make to Burma to commemorate the 400 games. So I'll get you to do that now.
Yeah, look, Boom, it's been an honour and a privilege to have been involved with you both as a player and also as interim coach and assistant coach throughout your 400 games. So congratulations, mate, from everyone in the room.
And ladies and gentlemen, also put your hands together for these 3 gentlemen for helping out, be part of this little panel discussion as Drewy photobombs. And finally, over to you, Boomer. Mate, there must be a lot of people in the room that you'd like to say thanks just for obviously making that 400 games a memorable occasion.
Yeah, I think I've done a little bit of it earlier just want to thank the North Melbourne Football Club for putting up with it. For that week, it was obviously, a lot of people outside the football club. It was more about me than our team, but within those 4 walls, we knew what we had to go up there and achieve, and I spoke to Brad about that, and we got the job done. So I was very, very thankful to all the boys and all the coaches and all the staff for their efforts that week. To you, Heath, being head of the media, it was a busy week, but you made it as easy as you possibly could for me. We had 1 day off, 1 day on for a couple of days, and it was actually, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the media. The stuff that you put forward to me was sensational. So I just want to say thank you to you and your team. Croc mentioned before, being from Preston and my upbringing, I wouldn't want it any other way. I've got a magnificent family, a circle of friends that I couldn't ask for a better circle of friends. So I think we had 86 come up to Brisbane with us. And now literally a lot of, majority of them were friends. And Shane, my fiancée, soon-to-be wife, was magnificent that week as well. She organised the whole tickets. She said to me, just don't worry about it, go up there and get the job done. So that was great as well. And that's pretty much it. I think going forward though, the message for 2016 from me is to all our supporters. Actually, I should thank the supporters as well, because I got some fantastic messages during the week leading into my 400 and after the 400. You guys are unbelievable. I know we haven't got the most supporters, but we've got the best supporters, so thanks again. And the only thing I want to finish with for season 2016 is to all our supporters, all our friends and all our family, strap the seatbelts on and enjoy the ride. Thanks, guys. Thanks, boys.